On.
Good.
Okay, and then put some music on. So here we are. We're going to be live in a few seconds. We're just doing the countdown timer right now, so that's brilliant. I'm just going to click on this.
I can't hear any music. Huh?
You can't hear the music, can you not?
No, that's
Oh, right.
Well,
Okay, is that better?
Okay, that's fine. Just letting you know.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. So let's just turn that music off. I'm just going to turn this down. Okay, so, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Andrew Jenkins on Leaders Live. Welcome. So this is streaming. So morning, Kevin, and morning, Andrew Bryant. So this is streaming live today on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's a whole new thing. I've been doing this for a couple of times actually. It's like, wow, this technology is just kind of blows you away a little bit. So as I said, I'm Andrew Jenkins. I'm joined today by my friend, the amazing Guy Danes, all the way from South Africa. Hi, Guy. How you doing?
Morning,
how you doing, Guy?
Very good. I've been up a couple of hours already because you guys are behind us in time. So we've all got to sharpen up today. So
we've all got to sharpen up today, right? Let's just give you a quick round of applause, shall we? Hopefully you can hear that, Guy.
Yeah, that's good.
You got that, did you? Okay, so let's just start. Oh, hi, VJ. How you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Okay, so here's the teaser for you this morning. So do you really understand your sales strategy and what it is for your SME business? And how do you take quick action steps to make your strategy happen in real time, folks? And how does your strategy relate to your current business life cycle? So we'll be getting into all that and a whole lot more in this next 30 minutes or so. So, we had a lively bunch last week on the Mark Fritz show, on the Breakfast Show last week, and there was a lot of chat, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of chat today. So please feel free to interact with us on the chat channel. And look, if you want to ask us any questions as we're going along, we'll pick them up. That's no problem at all. We're monitoring the live feed as we're going. Now, Guy's a great friend of mine, and he's just given me permission to interrupt him because sometimes he just goes a little bit off piece with excitement. So I'm just framing that out there. And good morning, Diane. Great to see you, Diane Ivory. Brilliant. Yeah, and also last week, people told me that my audio was a bit quiet and that my guest was fine. So I've been kind of working on that. I'm on a different computer today. I'm in a different place, actually. So please let me know if we're both coming through okay. That'll be really handy for me. Thank you. So let me just set the scene very quickly. So before we get going, a quick bit of context setting for this morning. So I set up Leaders Live to explore, high performance team topics and interview people with a mindset and a passion to help businesses succeed. That's what Leaders Live is all about. And in these rapidly changing times that we're going through, we ain't going to snap back. We have to look at the world differently. And so I believe that the real solution here is about facilitating your people, our people, right, to make a difference by being awesome together. That's what Leaders Live is about. And that means developing, I believe, high-performance teams and high-performance organisations. I'm kind of known as the high-performance guy, if you want a shortcut. And the real impact of high-performance teamwork, good teamwork in organisation, is what happens between people, not between processes, but between people. This is where I believe the game change will happen. It's all about relationships is the real power. It's more than how-to methods or because you have the right skills or the right people or the right jobs. It's a lot more than that. I believe that, and this is what Leaders Live is all about really, is tapping into the innate human superpower of I to the power of we. I believe that's what this new future is all about, and hence this new Leaders Live. So I'm just going to introduce Guy now. So great to have Guy and you, Guy, on my Leaders Live breakfast channel this morning. It's actually Claire Richmond that named it called the Breakfast Channel. I thought, I'm keeping that. That's just brilliant.
Perfect.
So yeah, so it's our summer here in the UK, and it's a cold winter right now in South Africa, right?
Yep, yeah, it's a bit
A
chilly,
bit
but
chilly.
that's good. A bit chilly.
That's a bit chilly. Well, yeah, and Guy's come with his best game today, and he might be shivering a little bit because it is winter there, and heating's a bit of a problem where Guy's at the moment. So Guy's a member of our Inspired CEOs, which I also am a co-founder of, and he likes to be known as the Silver Fox. I think, Guy, I might have named that nickname for you, and I think it's stuck, hasn't it? Not quite sure, but
Yeah.
I think it was probably me that did that. And I also know that you like to get a nudge just to kind of keep you back online from time to time as well, as I said earlier. So, Guy, as a business strategist and a leadership and sales influencer, set the scene for us. How do you avoid the 80% trap of key business projects not delivering on their promised game changer change? Over to you, Guy. Take us away.
Andrew, fantastic, and it's always good to follow on from my friend Mark Fritz, who we know very well.
Oh, yeah.
And as I say, I'm dyslexic, so just let the audience know. So my brain's all over here, some of the different things shooting. So just bring me back on track. Just quickly and briefly as an introduction, the audience would like to talk to today is obviously the B2B market and
Right.
SMEs and medium-sized businesses, and preferably those who have been going for 3 years or longer. But hopefully some of the little tricks and some of the little nuances will help everyone.
Yeah.
Look, at the end of the day, and we'll get into deeper stuff. Everyone thinks they got a sales strategy, and hopefully they've got it documented. And it depends how they've got it documented and what the key areas. But we all think that putting a strategy together, that's it, and it's the go-to market strategy. Well, where else are you going to go to? You've got to go to the market. So why call it a go-to market strategy? But that's just me being a pain in the ass.
The technical term, by the way, folks.
Yeah, sorry, it's a bit of South African slang. A bit of South African slang. So I like to ask business owners to start off with a zero-based sales strategy. Forget about the
Zero-based sales
past.
strategy.
Sales strategies. Forget about the past. Okay. Forget about that. Start anew in terms of trying to get your thinking right with your team. That's the first thing. Because if you take the phrase from the accounting or the financial directors, a lot of them do zero-based budgeting. So there is some relationship there.
Okay, so zero-based strategy. Start from today and work forwards, right?
Start fresh. Try and forget the history. It's maybe hard for people to do that, but that's really a key point. Secondly, before you put your strategy into the marketplace, who's going to attack that strategy? Who is going to sit and objectively look at your strategy outside objectively without any emotion? Because there you are, been running a business for 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years, and remembering your strategy. And as we chatted, Andrew, before the session, it depends on where your business is in the business life cycle. And I can guarantee you most people watching today, and we can see from comments, actually don't know where their business is in the business life cycle. So a lot of them were in the arrogance, sort of ego base, going back to February last year, and then they got a smack because we've got a new environment came.
The COVID stuff, right?
Yeah, and yeah, I hate to call it COVID, but it's the new world. We're in a new economy. So the point is where's your business in the business life cycle, and do you know some of the key characteristics relative to sales and business on your business being in the different life cycle phases? So it's today, obviously. In the past 18 months, I've had one failure in terms of implementing a strategy with a client. I'm still with the client, so it couldn't have been that much of a failure.
Okay.
The trick is to say to yourself, you've obviously got a business vision. You obviously have a business strategy.
Right.
The trick is list for yourself what are the 6 key objectives or 5 objectives that your sales strategy wants to achieve. And let's just talk about this word objectives. This word management by objectives. I love managing by objectives. It seems to be an old-fashioned word, seems
Tell
to
us
have
more.
fallen out of the sort of leadership sort of language, but it's still used today in the military. What is the objective? An objective simply are a time frame with an outcome, as Mark Fritz says, with an end result. It's a lot of SME businesses managed by hope or managed by crisis, and there's obviously issues to deal with in terms of
Yeah.
maybe systems and processes or their culture.
So
Um,
hope isn't a
but
decent strategy, right? Is what you're saying?
no, and there's a lot of people do that,
Yeah.
and the key is they don't get anyone to question their strategy,
Okay.
and sometimes there's too many yes men in a business around the lead or leaders, and so to question your strategy, you need to go and talk to the staff, okay, at whatever level, because they're in the trenches, and you need
Okay.
to get it across to them in a simple way. This is what we're thinking of, etc.
Okay.
Look, forgetting about my role and playing an outside role. If you don't get an outside person come in and contract them for a day or a week or a month to crit your strategy, you're actually wasting your time, because um, that that's going to set you up for your execution not to be at the level you want. No business, very few businesses, and there are exceptions to the rule, Andrew, have a 100% execution rate. But if you can get it to 65, 70, 85%, and how you measure it. So the first little trick is, and it's not a trick, is what key objectives. Uh, the next point,
Okay.
I
So
say to
just to
business,
consolidate on
yeah,
that, you're talking about 5 or 6
yeah,
points that it's good to get that checked, sanity checked, and attacked. If you can't do it with an external person, do it with your staff to sanity check it and to attack it, right? And if you get at least 65% of your objectives met, that's a pretty reasonable target. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. It's like the bare minimum.
Okay,
One's got
bare
to be
minimum. Anything
realistic.
above that's
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah, and so that's why starting the zero-based sales strategy and zero-based financial budgeting gives you a
Okay.
foundation.
Tell us a bit more about
But
that, Guy. Go into a bit more detail on what you mean by zero-based strategy.
okay, so say for example, historically, 80% of your business came from your existing clients. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
So you go into your new year, you must discount that and say, okay, if a whole lot of our clients actually left us, okay, what would happen then?
Okay. So that's like a
Do we
scenario,
have the
right?
do we have the structure? Do we have the resources and the wherewithal to actually go and find new business if 4 or 5 of our key clients left us? And what happens to a lot of SMEs and mid-sized businesses? They rely on 4 or 5 key customers, okay, to give them the majority of their business. And a lot of those times, those clients are high maintenance, okay, they're not profitable, and they're bad payers. And after being in your business 3 years plus, you the deal is you want to deal with clients that are profitable at your
Okay.
benchmark, and you've got to figure out again, going back to your zero based, what is the gross profit that you're looking for. And here's a real case study. I went into a business with uh, I looked at their part of their sales strategy. Their pricing was crazy. It was
Yeah.
pathetic. So within 8 months, we improved the gross profit percentage by 7%, and that's a fact. And we did that within 8 months of me being in that business. I eventually stayed with that business for 16 years and saw
Wow.
them through different phases of their life cycle.
Okay.
And the deal with the life cycle, and we've been exposed to a number of those, and maybe your audience has, is we got to cut out the peaks and valleys. So
Okay.
the deal with the zero-based sales strategy might be, okay, we've got to go and find 35 new clients this year in those markets, those 2 markets, at this sort of level. So it's a lot of businesses rely on their past client base, and I think maybe the past years disrupted that a bit. But there's also some pent-up demand in certain markets, depending on what market you're in. So look, it's a juggle.
Okay. So what you're
And
saying
the
is
next,
don't necessarily look just at the old client base, but your strategy should include acquiring new business, looking at the life cycle, come on to that in a moment, focusing on
yeah,
pricing, losing clients, and moving forward from that sort of base. And by the way, Mark Fritz has just stopped by and says hello.
fantastic. Mark, how are you, brother? Good to see you. We're going to talk outcomes. So you see, if you're going to start your new sales strategy, your financial
Yeah.
year, your sales year, and relying on your past clients, you could get a curveball and you could get a smack. So
Okay.
you've actually got to say, hang on, in my makeup of my team, have I got hunters? Have I got farmers? In terms
Right.
of where's my business going to come from? Otherwise, you know what? And we saw last year, a lot of people got fat and lazy. Okay,
Right.
got fat and lazy and move slowly. Now you've got to move quickly and through our chat today. I'll show you those sort of short wins. Always like to say, business is a 5-day test, but you got to get quick singles, and now and again you hit a 4 or a 6. So
Okay, a bit like playing
that's
cricket, right? Okay, I'm with
that's
you.
the one. Yeah,
Okay,
look,
okay, just to
I'm a
explain
cricket
to some
fan.
of our guests. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
a cricket fan. That
You're a
wooden
cricket
bat and
fan.
that ball.
Okay, so for a little while you're not doing much. You're just you're just protecting the wicket, and then there are other times you're striking 4s and 6s, right, Guy? In
That's
your
it. Yeah,
analogy.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so tell us a little bit more about the life cycle, the business life cycle, and your sales strategy.
Okay, so um, different people call different things in the life cycle. One area I call is the third phase, which is the ego arrogance phase, and that's where your sales strategy
Right.
really needs to be zero based, and you really got to say, what if this and this didn't happen? What if I didn't achieve those 2 or 3 objectives?
Okay.
Um, because in reality, okay, as much as we plan, planning's good, but we've got to be nimble and we've got to be flexible. And some people might be saying, but how do you do that, etc.? It's very hard to
Okay.
explain that in 30 seconds, but the bottom line is to say, relative to your resources in your business, okay, if you're at
Right.
the arrogant stage, relative to uh, the liabilities that you carry, and your market relationship with your market, how are you positioned to actually move forward on a growth area? And there's 4 growth areas for businesses, but one of them we've spoken about, growing business into your past or existing clients. The other one is growing business into new clients or new products into new clients. And the other area, as we know, is diversifying into other markets. And that's where getting back to the next phase in your sales strategy after having those key objectives is saying, really, are we that unique? And so many people say, we're unique in this way, and this is my USP. 90% of the time, it's bullshit because you
Technical
are
term,
seeing it.
folks.
Sorry, it's just South African slang. But it's the bottom line. It's the
Yeah.
bottom line. We all cozy within our offices thinking this is how we unique. Unless you're asking your client regularly, and the one way to do that is to set up a basis where, depending on your size of the business, senior people talk to the client. And I've got a couple of clients that have got client questionnaires that ask the client after every project, rate us on a score of 1 to 10. One client I'm with at the moment, they're outstanding, and their lead he's very dynamic in many areas. And they're getting ratings from 8.5 to 9.7 on every single client. Every single client they go and talk to, and nearly all
Okay.
these clients,
Right.
and nearly all these clients, Andrew, are new clients.
Okay.
So it's really finding out, really, are you that unique?
Okay.
Because we all talk we're unique. But anyway,
So
let me stop there because I'm going off like this over.
So one of the principles you're talking about there is getting feedback from your clients to inform your strategy moving forward. You also talked about, you can either have a strategy which is focused on the past, one that's focused on new clients or new products, or diversifying, right? Are there any other strategies which people tend to follow, Guy?
Um, there are a number, but they don't come to mind at the moment.
Okay,
Those four
so
I've
those are
used historically over the past 30 odd years,
okay,
and and 9 times out of 10, those four sort of work,
right.
or
And then you
or a combination.
okay, and then you focus your 5 or 6 objectives on those core principles. Is that correct?
Yeah, in those core areas.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
core areas. Sorry. Right. Okay. Good. So, how does that help businesses achieve sort of their clear, coherent strategy and direction moving forward, Guy? How do you paint that clear direction for them to move towards?
So,
That's
okay, so in summary, we've got these objectives,
yeah.
and then from that we look at how we unique. Some people
Okay.
say, "No, guy, this is a wrong format." Yeah, fine, but it works for me and the clients I work with, so that's what I
Okay.
do.
So this is a case of
Uh,
look, it works because I've tested it many times, right?
yeah, and everyone has their own approach,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Okay.
I accept that. I accept that.
Okay.
Uh, then you've got to say, have I got the right focus? And what does the right focus mean? And there's some very good books. I'm trying to think of one that comes to mind where it says just focus, focus, focus. Um, and you really got to look and ask your leadership team and your staff, what does this word actually mean relative to what we're trying to do? And that's the point. It's not complicated, it's quite simple. So here we have the objective, we've got our uniqueness, where's our focus? And if you have a sales strategy set up for a year, that's gonna fail. Your
Okay.
strategy, your sales strategy has got to be a moving target. Your team has got to understand that. In terms of your leadership style, the strategy needs to move. What's the great word? Agile. That word
Agile.
came out last year.
Okay.
You've got to
So
be
it's
agile.
iterating, right? Iterating.
And you can't just have a fixed strategy. A lot of people sit back quarterly, 6 monthly, review it, etc. To me, I work with a number of clients, and I do. I check the sales strategy out weekly, monthly, and
Weekly,
there's
monthly.
certain
Okay.
yeah, and there's certain mechanisms. And look, there are a couple of tricks, and I've got a jacket on today, but I can't let too many of these magic tricks come out because that's obviously what I get paid for. But the point is are you really focused, and is that focus giving you the best return
Okay.
on your activities and your wealth creation? Because as Mark says, at the end of the day, it's measuring performance and it's the outcomes. So the next step in this process, Andrew, in the sales strategy is what benchmarks have you got and how are you measuring this performance? And are you having courageous conversations with your team? Because here's the deal, 1 or 2 passengers in your business will mess up your sales strategy or mess up
Yeah.
your operations strategy.
Okay.
So it is so key, and I've seen it. I saw one business, they had one passenger in a key position, and for 6 months, 5 months, he messed things up badly. Really
Okay.
messed things up badly.
So you got
So
to
it's
focus on
getting
your
yeah,
team, yeah,
yeah,
and
and
make
that
sure they're
performance.
sharp, right?
Yeah, and that's where you've come in before when I've been in some of your sessions about high performance teams and delivery. And everyone knows that saying, the weakest link,
Yeah.
in the chain. So it's very simple, this process. It's not things seem so complicated to my dyslexic mind. You don't need it to be that. You just got to have, that's the key objective. Do the objectives change from time to time? Of course they've got to be there. It's fluid. The marketplace is not static. You've got competition wanting to smack you from every corner. It's actually good to have competition. People are amazed at me when I say it's great to have competition because
Keeps you
competition
sharp,
actually,
right? Yeah.
yeah, they educate the market for you, etc., etc. So it's good to have
Yeah.
competition. So,
Claire,
uh,
Claire says,
yeah,
sorry, Guy. Claire's just
yes,
Claire Richmond's just joined in, and she just says, a
all
really
right.
interesting conversation. Love the courageous conversations. What do you mean by courageous conversation? Tell us a bit more about that, Guy. What do you need to do to have those courageous conversations with your team?
Okay, so it's here's what it's all about. I've always had those, and that's just maybe the makeup, the military background from my family, etc. But I think it came into passion last year, where
Yeah.
you've got to look at your business language that you have in your business, and you've got to set up through your culture. And I think we had a Steve, whatever, one of the guys spoke about culture in your business. You've got to set up in your business that everything must be questioned, but in the
Okay.
right tone. In the right tone, in the right way. And then you can have a courageous conversation, which is being direct in the right way, with the right tone at the right time. If you don't have those, you're going to have too many yes people. You're not going to have your staff coming forward, and times have changed. Your staff are in the trenches. You know, yes, some of them in the trenches on passengers, but you need to bullet them, and that's your deal. But those courageous conversations are you setting a framework as the leader. Say, look, let's question everything. Here's the
Okay.
mechanism for
Break the
question.
assumptions, challenge what we're doing, and be brave and not fearful, right?
Yeah, and you've got to do that as an SME business today because the
Yeah.
big corporates, they're lazy. You can chew away at them. You know what I mean?
So
And you've got to move.
that's all about good collaboration skills, isn't it, Guy? Now,
Yeah.
Syed Ifran, he's just joined in. He helps CEOs get great results. Good morning, Syed. Syed says, "Look, great discussion, Guy. Like the conversation. So proximity to customers is key, right? He wants to move the conversation to customers. So you're talking about the team at the moment. Do the same principles apply to your customers as well, Guy?
Yeah,
To the persons to the company's customers.
yeah, and look, the bottom line, as you know, because you're a really good relationship person, uh,
Yeah,
relationships are the key. So get out the ivory tower, look at your program as a boss man, and
yeah,
say, well, I need to go and visit that client. I spoke about that fundamental key client survey response, um, and the client has two things you've got to overcome with the client: is their perception and
yeah.
their expectation. That's how simple it is. So go and call up the English dictionary. You guys are in England, and look up what perception and expectations means. It's quite simple. What everyone will have a perception, and they have a perception of you and me now, Andrew,
Right,
and me. Okay, and do we want that perception to be portrayed, or do we want to change it? What is the perception in dealing with that business? Okay,
right.
is it the same culture fit? Is it the same sort of language, etc.? Um, uh, can I get on with this person? Do I like this person's face? That's the perception side. Then the
Okay,
expectations is, can the client, can me, or whoever's delivering to the client, can we deliver the required level of benefits, the service? Is the client getting a return on his investment? I hate that word discount, or that word pricing it doesn't come into things. So that's the deal of, and Syed mentioned, you got to get out in the marketplace. And if your clients don't want to see you, then it tells you you don't have a good relationship with them. And
okay.
we all think we've got great relationships, Andrew. So if I think I've got a 9 out of 10 with you, Andrew, in reality, it's actually a 7, because us humans think like that. We always think we have better relationships than what we really do. So,
Okay.
Syed, great
Right.
question. Perfect.
So that's really the importance of monitoring feedback with your clients that you mentioned earlier, and then also having those courageous conversations with your team to kind of do a post-implementation review almost of this is the feedback we've had from our clients recently.
Yeah, and to have those courageous conversations with your clients.
Yeah.
You need to be
Okay. So
able to
not just
get,
with your
uh,
staff,
uh,
but also
no,
right.
yeah, it needs to be all around, and that's what last year showed a lot of businesses to actually get out of that comfort zone and go and have these conversations. Is it going to annoy some people? Sure, but you know
Right.
what? At our levels, when I'm talking our levels, we're talking at CEOs, MDs, CFOs. Ninety
Okay.
percent of them are driver or controller personalities and are analytical. So you know, 9 times out of 10, they can handle courageous conversation. You know,
So what kind of topic should we be talking about with our clients that informs our strategy?
Okay.
So you talk about having those courageous conversations. Give us some examples of what that might look like with our customers.
Well, okay. So in the old days and the new days, it's called talking at the sea level, or strategic selling at the sea level, and it's about the client bringing you into their fold for you to understand their strategy and how your business is impacting on their business and their business with their client. That's been around for 20, 30, 40 years. But it seems to get lost in translation. So it's about having that conversation with the client. How can I help you deliver better, more profitably, more efficiently, more effectively, and all those nice things to your
Okay.
client? If you don't have these conversations, you're not even going to get onto the canvas. So,
Right.
uh, and are they 100% accurate and successful all the time? No, no,
Okay.
that's
So it's
that's
basically
not life.
how can we help you make a profitable business for your business, Mr. Client, Mr. Customer, right?
Yeah, because
And
because it's a
yeah,
knock-on effect. Because if that happens, your client's going to like you. You know,
yeah.
and you're still going to be dealing with the client, so you're still going to
Okay.
be in business. So
Yeah.
it's that circle.
And I guess having that courageous conversation, it's not just all about, well, just cut your prices then and I'll be happy. Okay.
Forget
Yeah.
cutting. Yeah, forget. Look, cutting your prices. Then you actually don't understand your pricing strategies. And in that business life cycle, quickly, Andrew, going back to that,
Yeah.
is you have different pricing strategies depending on where you are in the life cycle. If I had to say to any business owner now, do you know the different pricing strategies? They won't. There's skimming pricing strategy, there's penetration, there's bundle pricing, there's value pricing. And all I
Indeed.
say at the end of your 12-month sales strategy that's been implemented, done in your financial strategy, is your business wealthier after 12 months? Very few SME owners, and that's a trick falling out now. At the end of, and in UK, your financial year is April. So how many people at the end of April this last year looked at their results in April 2019 because you got discount the previous year and say, has my business improved in wealth? Okay. And that gets back to relationships with wealth and value pricing. Okay. And financial guys will question it, and rightly so. So you'll have a good, courageous conversation with them. But
Okay.
to me, because they'll come and say, no, we need bundle pricing, or have you looked at fixed cost pricing, or these other fancy things?
All
And
these
they are
strategies.
important. They're all important, but it depends on where your SME business. So, and I'm talking today about SME businesses that maybe do £1 million turnover a year, £2 million. Mid-sized corporate might be doing £3 million. In South Africa, that's 20 million rand, 60
Okay.
million rand, 100 million rand. So, trying to just get it in perspective.
Listen, Guy, thank you. That's quite interesting. I'd love to have a further conversation around business cycle with you, but we're kind of running
Yeah.
closing out now. So listen,
Perfect.
guys. I hope you found that useful. Thanks for the questions we've had this morning and some of the interactions. That's been brilliant. So I hope you found it useful. I hope it's given you food for thought. It sounds like we'd have another conversation around business cycles and strategy. And by the way, listen, folks, if you're seeking help with your business or your sales strategy, then please contact Guy. And if you're seeking help to build a high performance team, then please contact me. And you can get me via my website or the contact details. And also, look, if you're an SME business owner, who's finding it lonely right now at the top, and who isn't, then please feel free to contact me about joining our Inspired CEO community. You'll find that a really great community to be in. Guy's part of that community, and we
Yeah,
inspire each other.
they should be there. That's you're crazy. The return on investment, yeah, you see it. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's giving
So,
it a punt. That's good.
so in terms of that Inspired CEOs, just very briefly, what would be your take on that? Just how do you find that to be of value to you, Guy? Just very briefly.
It helps on two levels, personal and a business level. It
Okay.
keeps on jogging your memory. The structure of it on a Thursday and Friday is very good because you have a hot seat, and that's a issue solving session. It looks at challenges for people that join Inspired CEO. So it's a win all round. It
It's a
just
win
gets
all
back to your
round. I
attitude.
like that, Guy.
Uh,
It's a win all
uh,
round.
uh, Yeah, you just get back to your attitude on it. Sometimes, some of us are not in the right space sometimes. So that's just
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we all have good days, bad days. Saeed says, look, very useful indeed. Would like to hear more on strategies to create more customer value. So there's our next topic for Saeed. So look, the links will be in the description very shortly once this is finished. That's all for now, folks. It's a goodbye from me, and it's a good day from Guy. And Saeed, we'll get back to you on customer value at some point for sure. Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to next week. Will be another Leaders Live. I'll not quite sure what that's going to be yet, but I'll come back to you shortly. It might be on writing books, actually. I'm hoping so. We might have Denise Roberts in the room next week. I'm yet to queue that up, but that's a tester and a teaser for next week. Okay.
Denise is good. So that'll be Lovely. A good one, Andrew.
Thanks, Guy. Brilliant. Thanks very much, everybody, and thanks for listening. And thanks, Guy, again. Thanks for coming on the show. Cheers for now, folks. Have a great day, or a great afternoon, or a great evening. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.